Hi, I'm Fletcher Rhoden. My pet peeve for today is fashion. Pet Peeves is brought to you by my website, FletcherRhoden.com. That's where you can find links, such as to my authors page at Amazon.com. That's where you can buy my books in paperback, or for Kindle, or in audiobook format. There's also a link on my website, FletcherRhoden.com, to Spotify, my artist page on Spotify.com. There you can download my albums. I have a lot of them. Last year, 2024, I had a 4-album set called Quadrilogy. And this year I have a brand new pop album for 2025 called I'm Possible. Now you can download those from Spotify or from anywhere. You can download your favorite music all over the internet. At my website, there's free music that you can only get there. So, check it out. Okay, well, today's pet peeve. If you've seen the show before, maybe you've seen my show about hair, styles, and beards. These are cosmetic things, ornamental things, which I find peevish. But there's nothing more ornamental or superficial than the actual fashion industry. And it's, of course, one of my pet peeves. Maybe it's one of yours. Maybe it's about to be. Or maybe you're about to realize how silly that is. Let's find out, shall we? Okay, the fashion industry generates billions of dollars a year worldwide. Geared mostly to women. Run mostly by men. In general, men in society don't seem as fashion-oriented as women are, but many of them are. Many men are very fashion-oriented. And as I feel with beards and hairstyles, I feel with fashion. I'm not saying it's right. It may be a double standard, but this is the way I feel. And Pet Peeves is a show about the way I feel. I think that the fashion industry, from a woman's perspective, is different than from a man's perspective. Women are, well, I want to say that they're put into a position by society that they have to rely on fashion. They have to rely on cosmetics. They have to rely on weight loss programs. They have to rely on jewelry. They have to rely on good-looking clothes that accentuate their body. Because these are the ways that women are taught that they can best get along in society, making themselves attractive to men who have the power and the money to take care of them. I'm not saying that this is a good way to raise your children or live your life, and I'm not saying that it is a positive influence in society, but history tells us that because, the professional woman is a relatively modern innovation. For countless years, women just didn't play that kind of role, not in American society. Women had to play a different kind of role. So it was instilled upon them to be attractive. If you look like that, you'll never get a man. Men don't make passes at girls who wear glasses. Things like that. A whole generation grew up like that. And even today, in our progressive, forward-thinking world, a lot of people still feel that a woman's place is in the home, that her job is to be attractive to her man, and the fashion industry certainly can help this. However, a lot of those men can't afford the kind of fashions the fashion industry wants their women to buy. It's a little ironic trick there, but that's the way the world works. So, as regards women, I suppose it's fine. I don't really care. I think I've known women who wear too much makeup. I don't like that. That's a fashion thing, and I find it ugly. Garish. Like a clown. Like a sex clown. I had a girlfriend once, and her mother bought her this makeup assortment, and before a date she went to town with it. I barely recognized her when I picked her up. I really thought she looked like a clown's prostitute. Ultimately, I think that's what she became. But that's not my peeve. I don't mind clowns and I don't mind the prostitutes. I don't like too much cosmetics because it looks like you're hiding something. What are you insecure about? What are you hiding? Also, when your face touches a woman's face when she has cosmetics, you kiss her and then you're tasting lipstick. Now maybe women are used to that taste, and maybe some men are. I'm not, and I don't like it. And then I can feel the makeup on my face. I do a little nuzzle, a little cuddle, then it's no good. That's part of the fashion industry. But women generally, they want to look their best. They want to wear the jeans that are fashionable and timely. If they're cut low or cut high or cut tight or narrow or whatever, they want to be in step and they're taught to be that, and that's fine. But men succumb to the fashion industry in a way that I find to be repulsive. Any man who cares that much about fashion, and I understand that a man will say, look, women like men who care about how they look. If you have a slovenly appearance, a woman's not likely to be attracted to you, unless she also has a very slovenly appearance and doesn't want to have to try hard. So she's sloppy, you're sloppy, it's fine. You're both sloppy. But in general, a woman, and men don't realize this, a woman will value a man who values his own appearance, because that means he takes care of himself. That means he's got a clean home. If he's got a clean body and clean clothes, that means he keeps a clean house. That means she can be comfortable there. That means she can let her guard down there and be naked and have sex there. It means that she'll be treated well, because if a man treats himself well, he'll treat his companions well. It means the guy or the gal, probably in this case it's the way a woman looks at a man, it means he probably earns enough to spend discretionary income on his appearance, and that means biologically he will be able to provide for her children, because everything in society really does go back to our psychological roots and biological impulses and biological drives, instinctive drives, things which compel us. And women are very tightly attuned to their biological impulses, say to procreate. And there's a limited time that a woman has to do that, and she knows it. Men have a bigger window of procreation. A man can procreate at 80. A woman cannot. Women know this. They have to maximize their youth in a way that men do not. This is biologically necessary. Just biology necessitates that women have greater urgency about this than men do. And there are other things too that contribute to the sum result is that biological and sociological influences put more pressure on women to be attractive than men. But men have to be a certain amount of attractive for women. But they don't have to be as attractive as they are. Let's face it, most men are attractive not for the sake of the women they hope to impress, but for the men they hope to impress. Not to attract, but to impress, to intimidate. Men wear clothing as a demonstration of their power over other men. The better dressed man is more successful than the slovenly slob. The casual guy in his t-shirt isn't as well accomplished as the man in his silk suit. Appearances, especially in the executive world, are very important. It's not about attracting mates. It's about getting a better job. It's about impressing your boss. It's about impressing your coworkers. It's about establishing your authority over them, which you can do once your boss likes you more, which he will do or she will do when they see that you tend to your appearance a little more. So I'm not bad-talking men who look after their appearance. For a lot of men, it's a wise move. It's a good move if you're in the dating scene, for sure, or if you're in the corporate world. You've got to have a good appearance. You've got to put your good foot forward. That is not the same as the fashion industry, though. Putting your best foot forward means being clean. It means being well kept. It means your clothes are clean. It means nothing about you smells. It means your clothes match in material and in color, and that they're appropriate for the circumstance. If you're working as a hotelier, you want to have a blazer, probably a necktie, and a closed collared shirt. You wouldn't want to show up in a tuxedo and tails in order to stand behind the registry desk of the Holiday Inn. That wouldn't be appropriate. Nor would you want to come in there in your fabulous disco costume. Or whatever else. Too much fashion in a man's world reflects misplaced priorities. And too much emphasis on fashion in a society reflects the same kind of misplaced priorities on a social level. And let's face it, the fashion industry only exists to perpetuate that. That's why it exists. Fashion is like an addiction. You can only be happy when you look good. And the more you pay, the better you look. It's just exactly like drugs. So, I don't like the fashion industry because I feel that it is a corruptive influence. Also, as regards women, have you seen those fashion shows in Paris where the fashions are so wild that nobody would ever wear them? Hats that are huge and have like models of cities on them, on the brim, you know, or crazy shirts or dresses with big, huge space-age collars or shoulder blades, you know, so that you look like Ming the Merciless from Flash Gordon. And then just the craziness of it. That's not fashion. No one wears those things. That's a Halloween parade in New Orleans. That's an industry. That's an industry where people specialize in looking good. Some of those people look like they're from the moon. That doesn't look good. That's not fashion. It's folly. It's not the fashion industry, it's the folly industry. And it's one of the most powerful ones in the Western world. Well, something to think about. The more you think about it, the more you might find that it's one of your pet peeves too. Is it? Or are you one of those people, are you a fashionista? Do you see only the benefits of fashion and you think I'm misguided? I might be. If so, let me know in the comments and I'll respond in like manner. Be nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Also, watch another episode of Pet Peeves. I'm here every other Monday throughout the year of 2025 with new webisodes every other Monday at noon, Mountain Central Time. On alternating Mondays, you can see my other show, Quotes and Quips. There are new webisodes for 2025, but you can also watch the whole of 2024. Quotes and Quips is still up and will always be up, so you can always watch those reruns. And there are reruns of my 2023 show called Tracking the Lone Wolf. That's on its own YouTube channel, not this one, but its own YouTube channel called Tracking the Lone Wolf. That's about my book, Tracking the Lone Wolf, the Sigma at Work, at Home, and at Play. I reference it quite often. You should pick it up in one of the three formats, either paperback or Kindle or audiobook format. The audiobook is available at Audible. You can go to my website for links. You can also download my new album, I'm Possible, from wherever you like to download your favorite music. There you can download mine. So check all this out, tune in again, and until then, bye, Mary.